Okay, now I think the microphone's working, so that's useful. What a run around. What I'll do is I'll play as Kyrgios. Has he got other? No, he's just got the one. Okay. I think I downloaded a new Roland Garros from memory. Yes, I did. I'll change it to world class and see what happens. Not 100% sure how many people are going to watch this because I didn't say anything about it. It says 3 people are watching at the moment, and that's sort of hovering between 4 now, hovering between 2, 3 and 4. So wanted to do this to see, I don't know, just to answer any questions people might have had about the game that maybe can't directly communicate via comments on videos and things like that. Obviously I could do this on Twitch, but I don't know, like, I've only used Twitch a handful of times, so I don't really see the point, to be honest. And I'm going to have to mute the sound on my end because I don't have headphones in at the moment. Hooray. I don't get to listen to well, I don't know, the sounds of the game, particularly with the crowd and that, haven't changed from the first game. They're very much the same.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
as
to
are
this
a lot of things in the game.
Please welcome from Spain, Rafael Nadal, and his opponent from Australia, Nick Kyrgios.
I'm trying to remember the last time I actually streamed. I really can't remember. And it was probably Tennis World Tour rather than an international tennis. It's going to be really hard to concentrate on the game. It's okay. Player just didn't want to move then. It just stood still. That's like, yeah, there's the movement sliders and things like that, but I feel the focus has been put on sliders way too much, to the point where it's the game's over reliant on these sliders. I suppose that's one thing I probably should have adjusted before I started this. I probably should have adjusted the audio for the game, because this might actually be quite difficult to hear what I'm saying while I'm playing, particularly with how loud the crowd gets at times. Okay, just give up on it. Okay. Not 100% sure how long I'm gonna stream for exactly. Still no update on the PS4 version or Xbox, as far as I know. There has been a couple of updates on Steam and the Switch versions, but they're basically to bring it up to the point of where the so why would you hit that straight back at me? I don't get that. The AI did. Oh, okay. The AI did that in the first game, and I thought they would have focused more on the AI with the second game, but they haven't done that yet. Yeah, because it's one of the big issues where where they've got a completely open court and they'll hit it straight back to you. It's bizarre. But anyway, that's just one of my many thoughts. And yeah, like that, like whole court, and again, whole court open, and again, whole court open. Oh my god. Hit it somewhere else, man. Why? Is he actually going... Oh, finally, hits it to the open court. I lost track of how many times he hit it straight back to me. See, that should not be happening. And again with that, where you just... Aces are very much the same as the first game as well. So if you struggle to ace in the first game, you're probably going to struggle in this one as well, unless you get the... I don't know if I'd call it a glitch, but it's just something in the coding or however it works. I'm not sure. To the point where most of the aces are exactly the same. The player will just essentially just give up on it. Here we go with him hitting it back at me again. I'm going to run out of stamina. Probably should turn stamina off once in a while just to see. But I mean, obviously then I can just use an aggressive shot every single time I've got to approach the ball. So bleh. Poor timing cost me again. No, there hasn't been a patch yet. Still the same version for the PS4 and Xbox One, as far as I'm aware. I continuously check to see if there's been an update, but yeah, still nothing. Kind of strange considering the Australian Open starts on Monday, and the game's still in a state where a lot of people are pretty unhappy with how it's playing. Like I've looked at a lot of the Steam comments, reviews and discussions, and a lot of people are really unhappy with the way the AI is, with the superhuman shots and the seemingly endless stamina and the ability to never make an unforced error. So I think that needs to be the first thing that's worked on, but I don't know, one of the developers apparently just came back from Christmas break, so I don't know when I really don't know when the first update will be. I had hoped they would go back to their past sort of Friday thing, but they haven't done that this time, so, well, at least this week anyway. Because by now the first game had, I think, after a week, it had about, I don't know, I think it was, I lost track of how many updates it actually had in the first week. Like, it needed a lot because the game was absolutely broken. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the same thing, that it feels like just a slightly different version to where the first game left off. So like AO 1.5 or something like that. Playing on World Class, I think I'm playing on. Where are we? General settings. Yeah, I'm playing on the third highest difficulty, so that's why I'm getting my ass kicked. And now that I'm looking at the comments as well, it's probably going to be even harder, but I'll give it a crack. I thought that was an ace for a second. But yeah, so yeah, like a lot of people are saying the same thing, that they're going to hold off because it doesn't feel like it's worth the price of a full game again. Which, you know, I don't blame people for that. Oh, what happened there?
Love 15.
Timing is still a weird thing with this. Like, timing doesn't seem to be completely consistent. Oh my god.
Love 30.
Your drop shots are a real issue in the game.
Love 40.
After putting hours in this week, game shit. Yeah, see, like, I was optimistic when I played, like, my first match. And then, after I started playing it more, I was like, it sort of just feels like a continuation of the first game. For how, like, just how it feels. It doesn't feel like much has changed. When you think about it, they probably had 15 months, if I'm being generous. What the hell was that?
15 months.
They probably had 15 months to work on what is now AO Tennis 2. But there's really not a lot of differences. What was that?
30 love.
Do you really think that the game can really get better? Or do you think the game can really... Oh, I wasn't even paying attention there. Honestly, a lot of people on another tennis forum or Discord channel that I follow sort of said it best. It needs to be rebuilt from the ground up, like brand new engine, all that sort of stuff, like built from the foundation up. Unfortunately, this game was built directly off where the first game left off, and not a lot has changed so far. What makes me annoyed is that bugs on the first game that were patched to that. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things that seem to go away after the first game and have seemingly come back. Yeah, so generally I talk about them as I see them. I'm sure if I play for long enough, a lot of these issues will arise. But yeah, like the AI is probably the biggest issue at the moment, which, like, they never really fixed the AI in the first game, so they sort of just changed the difficulty to a certain extent at some points, and then kind of just left it at that. Yeah, I don't know if you're on that Discord channel, but Mike, the big ant, what do you call him, developer, actually talked about those weird stabby shots. They apparently put those in so that you don't miss the ball. So they put those in as a backup for when your player can't seemingly hit the ball. So they're basically there as as just a backup for when your player's not in a good enough position to hit the ball. So he claims that they are planning on rectifying that and altering that in the future. But I mean, that was from the first game, so I'll take that with a grain of salt, to be honest, until I actually see that change. Because at the moment it doesn't feel like they're not instilling the public with a lot of confidence. Yeah, I said to another person earlier today, or yesterday rather, since it's 1:27 a.m. Like I said, I'd rather that weird stab shot be just removed. I'd rather the ball actually hit the player. I'd rather see the ball actually hit your player than have that weird stab shot if they're not in a good enough position to return a shot. Like, I think the ball hitting you would be more, I don't know, it'd just look better than that stab shot, because it happens very, very frequently as well. Obviously another thing is where there's a lot of forehand slices that seem to keep happening from the AI. That was a big problem in the first game too, which was never really resolved. Obviously in the first game, the forehand in general was quite bad, so yeah. There's just so many things to talk about, really. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of good in the game. Like, there's bits and pieces, but it feels like they focused on things that could have waited, and focusing on the gameplay was always should have been number one. Oh, I got lucky. Yeah, I'm sort of wondering if they're going to follow the same path they did with like Cricket 19, where there wasn't many, the updates weren't as frequent, or if Big Ben sort of control as to how often they can, barely out, as to how often they can patch games. Yeah, I've seen both Steam and Switch have had a few updates, but seemingly both versions were well behind the PS4 and Xbox One versions. So, like, I saw some screenshots and some videos of Switch footage, and yeah, it didn't look pretty. It looked like they still had to, like, even update the, like, just the visuals. Like, it wasn't even playing in like 720p resolution, so obviously that's a key thing to remember. Yeah, I actually won a game on world class. For anyone wondering, it is still on world class, so I managed to win a game on world class, probably because I changed the players. If I was playing Nadal again, I probably would have lost that game anyway. Where are you going? And that defensive shot that they still have in here, where it spoons up and it goes over, but you're left pretty much useless after that. And when the AI does it, because of how long it takes for the ball to actually come back down, it puts them in a better position than it does you when you do it. That was decent. Yeah, well, because I have to go on another account to see what, obviously the Big Ant and Ross's Twitter pages are saying, after I got blocked 2018. Yeah, I've noticed not much has been said. Saw like a couple of comments saying, "Oh, we need to add this into the next cricket game," or we need to see you get AFL back. And yeah, of course he responds to those ones. So, like, when he responded about the AI issue, he seemed to think there was no problem with the AI, like making unforced errors. So yeah, like, I of course shared that bit of a chat. So what is your favourite tennis game? It's probably a mix between like Topspin 4 and probably Full Ace, which is only on PC. Yeah, like the Topspin series is pretty hard to beat, like in terms of nostalgia. Like, Topspin isn't perfect either, but in terms of like being enjoyable and you know, actually wanting to play it. Yeah, I notice he sort of has a go at Wicked Witch a lot. He doesn't like the fact that they've got the AFL license. And hello to the Clarence as well. I almost missed that comment.
15 love.
Yeah, I read he pulled out of the Australian Open. I read a few players have pulled out of the Australian Open, from memory. Or maybe not the Australian Open, but the build-up tournaments. But maybe Dimonar's out of the Australian Open now. I haven't actually checked on that. I mean, he put in a lot of work for the ATP Cup, so it sort of makes you wonder, is the ATP Cup worth it, really? Because, I mean, it exhausted a lot of players. Depends which Kyrgios shows up. There's that superhuman AI shot again. Yeah, it depends which version of Kyrgios shows up
40-15.
For the Australian Open. Because, yeah, like, we know he can beat anyone on his day, but if his attitude comes in, yeah, it's... Oh, like... He's honestly so frustrating to watch at times when you know he... Oh god, another horrible race. When you know he can do so well, and yet, you know, one little moment will set him off, and then it'll just, you know, he'll go backwards for a long period of time. Okay, just watch the ball go by.
Love 15. Quiet please.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he gets quite a lengthy ban if he misbehaves, doesn't he? Oh, maybe that's keeping him in check. There we go. AI hitting it straight back to me again. There's that stab shot. It's frustrating when... Oh, there's it. Oh, another superhuman shot.
Is challenging the ball on the left near sideline. The ball was called in.
Oh, well inside the court. Oh.
One challenge remaining.
Is AO tennis worth buying? Oh, PS4 has just taken off like a jet engine. Do you mean the first game or this game? So honestly, I don't recommend either game, still. The first game, I never recommended anyone buy it. This game. Yeah, nah, it's not worth buying in its current state. Some people might say it is, and that's really up to them. But personally, I think it's got a ways to go before I say, yeah, you should get on this. I think people are better off waiting, because of the fact there's been no patches for the game yet, and there's a lot wrong with the game. And it essentially just feels like a slight update to the first game. Oh, dang.
Game. Catch him.
What am I losing now? 3-1. Unforced errors. 3-0. Oh, beat him. And honestly, the devil angel yin yang sort of system is quite... It gets old pretty quick. Because like if you do the angel one, or whatever it is, you essentially just give a thumbs up every time, and it gets pretty old pretty quick. That's out. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, like I don't like how they use the small studio excuse either, because they've been around for a long time now, and like despite the fact that they've had a lot of honestly horrible games, they have been successful. They've made money on plenty of their games, so they can't really say they're a small studio. They really can't, because they've made the money. Obviously, seemingly they haven't invested it very well, or I don't know. Maybe it's really hard to. Oh, cool. I was at a fault. Watch tennis a lot. It depends. Like the Australian Open, I'll try and watch a reasonable amount. Like I work sort of afternoon and nights during the week, so the Australian Open I might. Oh, what was that? Australian Open I might not get to watch too much. Yeah. I still remember when I got told that Ross thinks his cricket games are better than anything EA has done or could do. I would love to see EA come back to the party and just go, well, sorry. But yeah, I don't see EA ever coming back for cricket or tennis, to be honest, because there's probably not. They probably don't feel as though there's enough money in it for them. Which might be true, might not be. We really don't know. Well, it seems like there's well over 100 people that have bought the game on Steam. I don't know how many people like overall have bought it, but I think when it launched on Steam, it was like over 100 people playing at one time. So, and didn't want to go for that ball, I guess.
15-14.
Anyways, if cricket gets massive in England again, well, England are top of a few of the rankings, so it should be big in England anyway. Do I think there's a beat Kyrgios in a street fight? Probably not, no. I've seen his brother before at the airport when he was picking up Nick's brand new Dodge Challenger Hellcat. I think it was back in 2018. His brother looks completely different to him. I wouldn't have known they were brothers if I didn't know who he was initially. But yeah, then shortly after that, Nick rocked up as well. So then a group of a tour bus full of schoolgirls, or I don't know what they were, bunch of girls hopped off the bus and then surrounded him and were getting autographs and things like that. So I can't remember when that. I think it was like. I think that was just after Wimbledon in 2018, where he bowed out pretty early. And then the media did a piece on his him getting that challenger, and said, oh, look what he's focused on. He'd rather buy fast cars than play good tennis and all that sort of stuff. So make of it what you will. That's out. Yep.
40-30.
yeah, I'd like to see him win a Grand Slam at some stage, but it really depends which Kyrgios turns up on the day. Like, he can, if he puts in the effort, there's no doubting he could probably win a. Oh God, what was that? He could probably win a Slam someday, but it's just so difficult to see with how he's been over the years. I mean, it's crazy to think how long he's been around. It's like Bernard Tomic. He had great potential, but he just seemingly kept throwing it away. Oh, I lost. Yeah. Yeah, like, obviously, I don't know what other games they do besides AFL Evolution, but yeah, it's always better to delay a game if it's not ready. Like, obviously, with AO Tennis, they seemingly have to release it before the tournament, or as the tournament's beginning, like the first game. And you know, like, it's really frustrating, to be honest. Oh, I have a women's match. I'll choose a grass court, shall I? Even though none of the courts play any differently to one of the others. Yep, that one will do. Keep the same difficulty. Yeah, so this video will only be in 720p standard, so it probably won't look that great on the other end. Like, obviously I'm watching it just as I do. Ross will say some bullshit like best received tennis game of the last 10 years when interviewed. Well, that's the thing, like, a lot of review sites, which I feel like there's been more reviews on this game than there was the first game. I kind of wish a lot of these review sites also reviewed the first game, or maybe played the first game and then went to review this one, just to see that there's really not that much difference between the two. So I'd love to know how they'd feel about the game then, but chances are they've just gone straight into this game without even having played the first game, and chances are that they're probably not tennis fanatics anyway, most of these gaming review websites and things like that. So I find it very difficult to look at these reviews and go, oh well, it must be better. God, this court's bright. I'll challenge that, why not? Imagine if Rockstar made a tennis game. Obviously not going to happen, considering it's already in the game anyway. GTA 5, that is. A lot of people say GTA 5 tennis is better than this. I always find that quite funny every time I see that. I'll challenge that too, why not? Let's waste them all. That one's closer at least. I had no time to game it either. Like, I understand they got review copies, but the floor start. Yeah, like, I feel you can't just play it for a brief period of time to get your, to get a feel for how it really is. Because I mean, I was the same way. Like, I played the first game between Kyrgios and Nadal, and I was like, oh well, this actually feels like more enjoyable than the first game. And then as I played more, I started to see a lot of the same issues that were there from the first game. And there's a bit of thunder. Don't know if that'll go through the microphone or not, but thunderstorm up here in not so sunny Brisbane. Well, it's not sunny at the moment anyway, since it's the middle of the night. Why are you hit a... Oh, there's an unforced error. Which is better. Neither. Tennis World Tour was abandoned, and AO Tennis 2, well, it's essentially the same game as the first game. Yeah, like... Yeah, the career was improved, and it's not as bland and things like that, but when the gameplay is obviously the key part to it still, it's, oh, Kerber didn't get an unforced error before. What do you know? Yeah, when the gameplay is still the key part, like, all that focus on the career seems a bit pointless, really, because, like, I saw the first cutscene when you first start your career, but I haven't seen any other cutscenes since, because I've only done 2 episodes on it, so I don't really, not 100% sure what happens after that initial cutscene. Plus I got my ass handed to me in my second match anyway, so yeah, won again. Prefer a fledged out Tennis World Tour sequel. That's the thing, I don't think we're going to see another Tennis World Tour, because obviously since Big Ben has jumped ship to publish this game, I imagine Breakpoint probably hasn't got the resources now to even obviously continue working on the first game, which probably explains why we didn't see any more work on the game after that Roland Garros thing back in May last year. And yeah, I imagine they wouldn't be able to make a second game either, unless they somehow team up with another publisher. Yeah, publisher. It's really hard on the eyes watching this court. Oh really? Okay. I haven't even tried looking for their website, to be honest. Not that I've got a reason to. I mean, I did a couple of simulations on Tennis World Tour prior to this coming out, but other than that, I haven't really been back to it to play it anymore, because I don't know, I just don't see the point. I mean, yeah, it's got Federer and Nadal, and there's probably going to be a nice crack of thunder in a second. You can see it flashing underneath my curtain. Kabang. What the courts at ice on Tennis World Tour? Yep, like the grass courts were a bit off, but other than that, the courts and like the clay courts and things like that sort of looked and felt a bit better with like foot markings and things like that. Like a lot of people are pretty disappointed. What the hell? Going straight past that. There was no sliding on clay in this game. Like I remember they had it in the first game, and then from memory they took it out because it looked shit. It really did. It looked shit. I mean, the sliding Tennis World Tour had was decent. Wasn't great, but it was decent. It was better than what the first AO Tennis managed. And like particularly when the challenge review system comes up, like Hawkeye, you see how pixelated the courts look. Is that superhuman AI again? Yeah, like you can see how pixelated the courts look, and yeah, I don't know, it's pretty off-putting at times. Yeah, like a lot of people are talking about the improved graphics with AO Tennis 2, but it looks exactly the same to me. It doesn't look like
30-15.
like the graphics look exactly the same. Like the courts look exactly the same. Maybe some of the player models are a little bit better. Oh God, really? Like these banana shots are shitting me to death.
15.
And I've seen a lot of people are getting really pissed off with seeing how many banana shots happen. Yeah, I noticed Nadal, a few people commented on how Nadal looks, and they're like, yeah. Okay, just don't even go to where the ball was. It's alright, I wasn't trying to move or anything. Yeah, he reappeared on Planet Cricket forums, and he seemed to take praise once again for them adding that into the game, while also admitting they probably overdid it. I'd rather they just left that out, because it made drop shots horrendous, it made slicing horrendous, it's made topspin shots horrendous. It's out. Yeah, with Nadal, like I'm really surprised they didn't like work on his animations and things like that, because like there's like still a lot of his animations are not, you know, true to life. Oh, Stab Shot City, and I'm not going to get to that one. Yeah, well that's right. Obviously they had that problem in the first game with like things like aces and the AI and just the choice of difficulty in general. They had big problems with going too far one way or just too easy. Because I remember I was playing on the highest difficulty for a while on the first game, and I was just absolutely owning it in the career. And then they changed it, and then it became bloody impossible to play anywhere near the top difficulty. So yeah, like they really struggle to find like a good balance. That's for damn sure. Won another point, great. Yeah. There was lots of patches that broke serving, to be honest. It's like the timing and control system as well. Like they changed that a couple of times to the point where like sometimes it works and then a lot of times it doesn't. Oh yeah, they reintroduced that bug where the AI would fault on the first serve a lot, and then often they'd end up double faulting. And I've noticed that happens in this game as well. Like the first or second point of a service game, the AI will just somehow manage to double fault all the time. Is it better than Tennis World Tour? I don't know, like I still enjoyed playing Tennis World Tour more.
15-14.
is the online Baron, or can you find matches? At one point, it took me over 3 minutes to find a match.
The ball was called out.
And the times, apart from playing with Adam, who's in the comments, I've had a lot of problems with lag and weird sort of glitches popping up in the games that I've had online. One player quit and they gave the win to the guy that quit when I was two games to love up. Worked that one out. That's Big Ant's forward system online. Toxin 4 is still better than this game. Yep, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, the second game we played, I think it took like half an hour for us to get through that. What was it, 8-6? I ended up winning that. Don't know if I need way more subscribers than what I've got. I pretty much post only like tennis stuff. I tried posting other stuff, but didn't really generate much interest. So I just basically keep playing most of my other stuff just in my own time. And oh god. And hello MOHD94954BHR. Oh, yeah. Yeah, will I play Tennis 004 in the future? Probably not on a live stream because, I don't know, live streaming off my PS4 seems to be easier and more stable than streaming off my PC. I don't know why. Big Bash Boom. Oh, don't remind me of that. That was the biggest waste of time. And they sold that game for full price. $100 for that horrible arcade game. Like, I don't know how they justified the price for that game. I was actually quite surprised that this was only $77.95 on the PlayStation Store. I couldn't believe that. And it's still that price. It's more expensive on Steam. I think it's back up to $89.95 on Steam. I mean, it's crazy. I'll probably play 1 or 2 more games. Yeah, because of graphics card issue and processor like that, you should have an application etc. Yeah, I've got an application to do live streaming and things like that, and my graphics card and processor's more than fine. It's just the internet speed here in Australia is pathetic. But it seems to stream. I seem to be able to stream better off the PS4 than I can off the computer. So, yeah, it's always a bit rough on the computer. But if I had a proper connection to the NBN, which is Australia's biggest fail in network infrastructure, yeah, I'd be able to. I'll be able to do some different things. Where are you? Look at Rafa's lips. They're fucked. One feels looks On fees looks shit too. Same with Kyrgios. Yeah, Kyrgios looks a bit. I don't know. He looks a bit strange. Some of the. I don't know. It's. We can't have nice things apparently when it comes to tennis games, or on console at least. Anyway. Yeah, like with the mods and stuff with Tennis Elbow, 2013, like it's definitely got quite a large fan base. Like obviously, yeah, plenty of people are put off by the fact that it is quite dated in terms of how it looks and feels and all that sort of stuff, and obviously the control system's a little bit more complex compared to your typical console games, and even full Ace has got a more simplified control system. Like I do hope that Manitou, I think his name is, I do hope he's planning on like sort of doing something different with the control system with Tennis Elbow 4. I wish it could stop raining. Needs to rain in New South Wales and Victoria, not Queensland. We don't need the rain, which is weird to say. Well, some parts do, but not most parts. Where the fires are, that's where it's needed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this casual match. Please welcome from Switzerland, Roger Federer, and his opponent from Spain, Rafael Nadal.
Kind of weird how like Federer's got this sort of weird kind of like white, creamy sort of stubble. Yeah, I can imagine. Obviously, Canberra and sort of the coastal regions of New South Wales, Central Coast and all that sort of stuff wouldn't be ideal. Obviously, seems like things are getting a little bit better compared to what they have been. I don't know about anyone watching, but it's actually really, like, this court feels like overly bright.
30 love.
Yeah, I feel like I'm straining my eyes just looking at it. I have to I'm really having to concentrate where on earth the ball is. Oh, that doesn't help either.
40 love.
Yeah, like I know there's still plenty of fires still going, but yeah, it seems like things have calmed down somewhat, which is good to see. Oh wow, I hit the top of the net that time. Oh, can't believe that went over. Oh, superhuman shot. Oh, thanks for the winner. I actually booted up Topspin 4 again yesterday. It was incredible how the game holds up compared to tennis games we had today. Yeah, I mean, can't argue with that really. I notice people saying that we need to get over Topspin 4. It's in the past. You know, Big Ant isn't trying to emulate Topspin. Well, I think you find they are trying to do what, you know, Topspin and to a different extent Virtua Tennis tried to do, but you know, like most tennis fans, particularly ones that, you know, try these games. Oh, how did I miss that?
15-30.
Yeah, I'll have a look a bit later. Ah,
15.
yeah, like, oh dear.
Game 7.
But I mean, yeah, like it's hard for a lot of people to get over topspin and games like that because I mean they are the last truly good
Left.
console experiences we had with tennis. So, like when people say, "Oh, we need to forget those. We need to focus on making these companies that are still giving tennis a try. We need to support them and things like that." The problem is they often don't listen. Like particularly Big Ant doesn't listen to criticism a lot of the time. This is where they end up blocking people on social media. They say they don't do that, but they're seemingly starting to do it more and more. So, I mean, if they just listen to the constructive criticism, like, yeah, eventually I completely started to shit on them, but you go and block me. I'm not going to be nice about things.
15.
Yeah, I saw a post from that whoever that guy is on the Planet Cricket forum saying, "Oh, they're always, looking to respond to the community and and take in feedback and things like this and this and that." But I mean, they don't often reply. This is the problem. Like, sort of wonder like what their ticket system looks like, for their support website. I sort of wonder how many of them they actually go through and actually, take down notes on what a lot of the issues are. There's no doubt people are supplying screenshots and things like that with them as well, so... pro community until someone goes against the circle jerk and points out flaws. Yeah. Unfortunately, they much rather reply to people who are posting only positive things, particularly the CEO. He doesn't like hearing any negative feedback at all.
Nadal is challenging Paul.
Anything negative and he'll start blocking people or just simply ignoring everyone. But if you've got nice things to say about the game, he'll seemingly come out and go, "Oh, thank you for saying that. Oh, I really appreciate the fact that you love the game," and all this sort of stuff. Like, you can't have it both ways. Especially when he really does seem like an absolute hypocrite.
First serve.
Like it's kind of funny whenever someone says, "Oh, Big Ant should pay you or give you like free copies of the game and things like that because you do so much promotion for them," and I laugh every time I see that because there's so many people who probably are completely unaware of how there's more than one occasion where him and I had arguments. Yeah, if you suck up to him, he'll seemingly reply. Bought the game today, already done 4 hours.
Advantage Nadal. Choose.
No, I got lucky with that.
Advantage Nadal.
Michael's just as bad as him in my opinion. Just knows how to play social media better. Yeah, it does sort of seem that way. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see a bigger studio, you know, getting involved. You know, without 2K and EA, there's really no one else. Amateur level yet to win a set. I'd say you've probably got an issue with, like, particularly timing of the ball and movement around the court, which, you know, a lot of people have got that problem. Okay, just don't even bother going for that. Me personally, the gameplay is more important, of course, but in order to be successful, yeah, I mean, most of the comments that I'm seeing on a lot of my videos, there's not a lot of praise for the game, which was very different to the first game. A lot of people would often have a go at me for saying, well, at least they're supporting the game, at least they're continuously putting out patches and the game seems to be improving. Well, they released the game in absolutely broken state for a start, so yeah, it's like 38 updates for the first game, but it still wasn't in a great state when they stopped updating it. Timing system is broken though. Yeah, I think I mentioned that in the first first part of the video, or the stream rather. Yeah, timing's very hit and miss, pardon the pun. Ah, what I cringe is cartoon faces instead of real faces in bloody 2020. Same goes for cricket. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a game that broken before. Wouldn't surprise me if it ended up on a list somewhere of like worst games of 2018, or like some sort of worst launch list of 2018. See if I can actually win a second game this time, because I think I've lost 6-1 on all occasions so far. I thought I was out. Okay. Looked deep, but anyway. Mr. Federer didn't challenge, so I'm gonna argue that. Ah. That's out. Oh no, it's not. Everyone marks massive improvements in reviews, but like I feel reviewers wouldn't have played the first. Yeah, I don't think so either. And the thing, the thing I've told a few people is I feel like a lot of the reviewers have probably never played a tennis game before, or probably aren't, you know, actually tennis fans. So it's sort of like you kind of take the reviews with a grain of salt. I think it's like it's kind of hard to say it's better to judge for yourself, because I don't really want to. I don't want to recommend anyone buy the game at this point in time, because honestly I think if you really love tennis, you're going to be disappointed. What I don't like is people asking for new outfit options or new hairstyles and things like this. Forget that shit. We don't, like, there's enough customization as it is. Gameplay needs to be the focus, not not customization. There's more than enough of that as it is. I can patch it from B1, it's really weird. Yeah, like I thought there'd be at least one for the PS4 and Xbox One before the start of the tournament. I mean, obviously the tournament starts on Monday, so we've got today being Saturday, and then tomorrow Sunday, and if they haven't put anything out, yeah, it's really, really, really strange that there hasn't been anything. Really strange. I mean, I think the first game had like 3 updates by this point. Obviously, yeah, it was in a horrible, horrible state. But I mean, you know, they've pissed off a lot of people in North and South America by the game not being out. 10 gigabyte-ish. Oh god, I hope not. I mean, the game was 20 gigabytes, which surprised me. Considering, evidently, the people in France on a disc version, it only took up about, what, some of them were saying like, some of them were saying like 11 gigabyte. I don't know where we got an extra 9 from, considering it was the same version. Beta testers again until February, yeah. Except they've done a wider beta test region area thing this time. Obviously, Australia and New Zealand copped it for the first game. Fuck is that forehand? Which one? There's many. You mean that's the awkward stab shot? Yeah, well that's... Or unless it's like the banana shots, which... it's like the easiest way to win a point, using the banana shot. Oh, I'm not going to get that either.
Advantage, Federer.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed all the review sites have mostly been Australian or like European so far. I haven't really looked at some of the non-English speaking review sites. I don't know how many there actually is. Not going to get to that either, and I've lost the game.
Thank you.
God, this court's really hard on the eye. What the fuck was that? That looked dreadful. What was that? Barely got to just some this little scoop shot. And yeah, whatever. Not even bother going for that one. I'm so shocked they didn't even promote the game at all on release day, just a tweet to say it was out. Yeah, like even the release in Australia was quite bizarre. Like it didn't launch on the Xbox until like and Steam until like 10 PM on launch day, which was absolutely bizarre. Yep, not getting to that. 15 gigabyte patch coming in February, I reckon. Oh man. Yeah, patches in the first game killed me. Absolutely killed me. Because I mean, you know, as you probably remember, I didn't have the NBM back then, so that was brutal for me. There's that weird stab forehand shot again.
15.
Yeah, the average looking created Federer. That forehand topspin aggressive shot seems to
15.
pretty much win a point every single time. It's almost pointless using any other shot. One was like 20 gigabyte. Yeah, I remember it was like, yeah, there was one really big one, and then there was a couple that were like 12 and 13 gigabytes. I was like, Jesus Christ, are you just giving us the whole game over again? Which that's pretty much what it was. It's like they didn't know how to optimize their patches, and it took them a long time as well to you know, somewhat optimize it. Don't worry about letting me go for that. It's okay, I didn't want to go for it anyway. See, this is the thing, on grass courts, there should be a lot more aces. But they just don't happen. I hope they fix everything. Everything's, it might be a stretch to ask for that. There is a lot to fix. And honestly, I think we're going to have to wait until the third iteration of this game, which will obviously be probably 2022 potentially, but we might get another situation like the first AO Tennis, since it'll be built on a new game engine, so we'll probably have another situation like that potentially. Because I mean, you'll have to imagine they won't start working on the third game if they do get that far until probably at least early next year, which gives them under a year to develop and rush out.
Advantage, Nadal.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Thank
like, that's what a lot of people said about the first game. When the foundations are broken, patches aren't going to magically make everything better. It'll improve things here and there, but ultimately there'll still be a lot of the same fundamental issues. Well, I managed to win a second game, so that's a plus. Obviously my unforced errors are the big problem because of the awkward timing system. And when the AI does superhuman shots like that, it's very difficult to win a point.
Love 30.
Will we get Cricket 2021? Well, you got to remember Cricket 19 was last year, so in 2019. So if they were going to make a cricket game, it'd be Cricket 2020. But I'd say we'll see Cricket 21, Cricket 2021 or Cricket 21, whatever they decide to call it, in 2021. Yeah. So that'll be another sort of spanner in the works. I can't speak too loud. I apologise, but it is 2:30 in the morning here, so and it is raining here, so I do apologise if you can't hear too well.
30, 40.
I did have a headset initially, but as far as I'm aware, my son took that one of the last times he was here, so
Left, first.
I haven't got that anymore. If there's a Big Bash Boom 2, oh dear, I do not want to see that. Or another lacrosse game, because that just looked like an awkward version of Rugby League Live. That's all that looked like.
Advantage.
That's weird, like, I've got a relatively decent microphone plugged in. It's one of those Blue Yeti snowball kind of ones. I'm gonna try Rugby 20. Rugby 20 looks bloody awful, if I'm honest. I mean, that's another Big Ben published game too. I watched a couple of videos, and it looked horrendous. It looked like nothing had changed. It essentially looked like what Big Ant would put out for their Rugby League Live games. That's what it looked like. So it kind of looked like the developer sort of just used the same mechanics and like game engine or something as Big Ant did for Rugby League Live 4. It was bizarre. That comes out soon, doesn't it? Like I know Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Kakarot came out today, or yesterday rather. I know a few games got delayed recently too. Like big name games. Next week.
15,
Yeah, there's people asking for Rugby League Live 5. Like, it'll just be Rugby League Live 4.5. That's all it would be. But I mean, every time, well, a lot of the times, Big Ant get asked about it, they just say, oh, refer to True Blue Games. But they're the publisher, they're not the developer. So, Big Ant must have lost the licensing for it. So, probably never see another Rugby League game, which is not a big deal, if you ask me.
30, 40.
Yeah, I don't think they have the license anymore, to be honest. Wow, I'm back to 5-4. Who'd have thought? The most competitive game is probably going to be my last one on the stream. Oh dear. See, I shouldn't have won that thing. There's no way. Nah, unforced errors are gonna be my downfall.
Thank you.
The obviously the less unforced errors I make, I should win this, no problems. And then if I wrong foot myself like that, there's another thing. Big Ant is what we're stuck with for tennis games, and it fucking sucks. Yep. Yeah, I mean, obviously it'd be good when the Tennis Elbow and Full Ace developers are able to bring the games to console. I'm not sure how the editing side of things, or animations and all that sort of stuff, I'm not sure how that's going to work, if and when that does happen. Yeah, This is another thing. That clutch weight thing. I don't know what that means. I saw someone in the comments asking if they knew what it meant. Honestly, I don't even know what it means. Yeah, it's I don't know, some weird things that are introduced that make absolutely no sense. Like the time pressure thing, I don't understand that either. Wow, back to 5-5. What was it? I was down 5-1. And I haven't changed the difficulty. It's still on world class. I've probably just made less unforced errors, that's probably what it is. And I wrong foot myself again. Always good.
15.
Oh, it'd be good if I can go to a tie break for the final match that I'll play. A bit of entertainment. Damn it.
30 love.
Look at that. 14 unforced errors to 0. A lot of my unforced errors. Oh, what the hell? Superhuman shot. A lot of my unforced errors have been avoidable, but it's just a lot of the unforced errors are just purely down to how up and down the timing system is. Win predictor is fucked too. Like I won 4 games in a row in a set to come back at 5 love, and win prediction gave AI 96%. For the most part, when I've been playing, the win prediction thing has been there or thereabouts what it should be, but yeah, that, like, your situation sounds like it should have been, yeah, it sounds like that's some sort of stupid glitch. Like, they're like nice sort of touches and that, but, you know, sort out gameplay first. Ah. Now I'm gonna hold my serve again. Ah.
Love 15.
Oh no. The acting in the cutscenes is funny shit. Yeah, I'll have to play more of the career over the weekend. Have I ever won a challenge? Yeah, I've won a few challenges since I've played the game. Not in the stream, but yeah, playing the game in general, I have won a few challenges. It's not impossible. You just got to know when to use it.
15-30.
Like, even if you think it might be in, chances are it's probably going to be out. But I've even challenged some of the AI serves and things like that before, and I've been right. Challenged some of my serves and I've been right, so yeah, so it's not impossible to win a challenge. I know a lot of people had problems with utilising it properly in the first game. It's just a matter of when you actually fuck, I lost. That was the closest contest in the end. Out of all the games I played during the stream. And of course it's Nadal, Federer. But I mean, you look at that. 1 ace on grass. And of course against Federer, and of course it went to where it wouldn't let me move. No double faults. Serving's honestly too easy to actually double fault too often. I found it's not difficult enough. 44 winners for 30, 16 unforced errors to 0. Break points about even. He won 7 more points than I did. Fastest serve, same. Dear. Hurry up. Oh, this takes forever. Alright, yeah, that's probably going to do it for me for the time being. First stream I've done in the game. I will, yeah, I'll probably do this again at some stage. I'll probably do it over the weekend again. I might announce it on Twitter or something like that. I'll announce it some way anyway, so that way maybe a few more people can jump on board and have any questions they might have, or questions that might need answered, or general opinions and things like that, much like this one. But anyway, I'll catch you all in the next one.